Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm talking with Kelvin Gastelum. He's got a fight coming up at Fight Night down in San Antonio. He'll be taking on Nico Musoke. And Kelvin, just first and foremost, thanks for taking the time today. I'm curious, you got about a week left, so where are you at in your training? What are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm finishing up camp. This is my last week of training, and I'm doing really good. I'm in a great place mentally, physically. I'm injury free, so I'm thankful for that. So I've had a really good camp.
Yeah. It wasn't really that long ago, your fight with Rick Story, right? When was that? That was in the...
March 15th.
It was March. Okay, so was this a real, plan from the get-go at the beginning of this year that you wanted to be very active in 2014?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Coming into 2014, I wanted to get as much fights as I can and get as much W's as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you make of the matchup with Nico?
Nico's a tough fight.
Yeah.
Tough fight. I mean, a lot of people kind of just, I think, expect me to win now. I'm not the underdog anymore, but he's tough. He's looked good in both of his fights, and he's young, he's hungry. He's in the same position I was when I was fighting Rick Story, and he's gonna try and make the most out of it.
Yeah, well, for people who don't know, he's Swedish, and maybe by looking at him, he's not your typical Swede with darker skin
Right.
and all that.
Right.
I think that kind of throws people off. But I was with him down in Brazil when he won his last fight, Viscardi Andrade, I believe, and he's also beaten Alessio Sakara. He's going to have some reach on you and some height.
Yeah, he's got that kind of like the Uriah Hall type body frame. So it's nothing I haven't seen before, nothing I'm not used to.
Yeah. How did you feel about the win over Rick? Because that was somebody that you called out and specifically asked for.
Right. I think it was, obviously it was a tough fight, and I got rocked in that second round, but I think I won, 2.5 rounds of the 3 rounds. He really won the knockdown, which was 11 seconds of the last part of the round, and then he had my back for about a minute. That's pretty much all he had on me, is what I think.
But it was a split decision.
Yeah.
So how nervous were you? So when you're standing there, because the problem is, and we all know, and we saw Diego Sanchez and Ross the other day, when they go, scores the fight 30-27, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, because here comes a split decision, right? So what's going through your head at that moment?
I'm thinking it could go either way now, but the judges saw it my way, and I did too. Looking back at the fight, I saw it a billion times already, and I won the fight.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the split
And in
decision.
that moment, you felt confident that you won?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's just that you never know.
Right, especially with the judges, So.
And it's funny though, because they say don't ever leave it in the hands of the judges. But let's be honest, I don't think anybody says to themselves in the locker room, I'm going to leave this one to the judges.
Right, absolutely not. I go out there. I mean, I've only have 2 decisions in all of my 9 fights. So, I go out there and try and finish fights. But decisions happen in this level, at this world class level. It's hard to put guys away.
Do you feel though there's a certain element of fans who are a little disgruntled? They're saying people are fighting more safely now. Do you see it that way?
I don't think so. Like I said, these guys are the best fighters in the world, and they're in the UFC for a reason, and they're hard to put away. So. I don't have much to say other than that. I don't think fighters go out there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to play it safe." I think, we all put our hearts and souls out there in the octagon every time we fight.
Yeah. Well, it's just that some people figure, okay, well, they're so worried about getting cut, and they're nervous about having the L on their record that they're going out there and they're not laying it out all in the line like the old days.
Right. Right, absolutely. I mean, there is some cases where that happens, and it's just part of the sport, I guess.
Right, but certainly your mentality when you go out there is always looking for a finish.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I want to finish fights, and I want to win fights impressively. So, my mentality is go in there and destroy and then annihilate. Yeah.
Very nice. And your background, now I know you've been working on your Spanish. Your mom is from Mexico?
Both my parents are from Mexico.
Both
yeah.
of them, both of them. Okay, so how's your Spanish coming?
Very well. Muy bien.
Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. You know, it's funny because we were talking on UFC tonight. I guess it was. Oh, so Luke Rockhold was on, and he's been helping Cain Velasquez, a coach. And he said something the way he said, "Oh, well, it's fantastic. You know Mexicans. You know how Mexicans fight." And it's funny because I feel like here in America, there's a part. Some people kind of go, "Wait, he said Mexican," but there's nothing wrong with saying Mexican because they're Mexican fighters. But there was something
Right.
about the way he said, "Oh, well, you know how they are, and they're awesome, and they're scrappy." And I feel like, to me, I've always used that as a compliment because I covered boxing before I covered MMA, and I dealt with the Marquez brothers. And to me, seeing a guy fights like a Mexican is like a real compliment. But how do
Yeah.
you feel when you hear that?
No, I mean that's just what it is. You hear of Mexican fighters, and a lot of us have the same kind of style,
Yeah.
grinding style. Pushing the pace style,
Right.
and I have no problem with people calling me a Mexican fighter. I guess.
I guess, right, good. Well, because I remember too when Gilbert Melendez and Diego Sanchez were fighting, and that was like how Gilbert was selling it. He's like, "Are you kidding me? You put two Mexicans in a cage."
Oh yeah, that was an awesome fight.
That was
Are you
amazing.
kidding me?
That was amazing. Yeah, I guess it's just, here in the States, like I said, there is some, friction sometimes, and I feel like people kind of are afraid they want to be too PC or something. And so they
Right.
kind of shy away from saying that. But like I said, to me, it's a total compliment. I mean that means you're not going to quit. You're going to fight or die. And to me, that means you're always out there looking to put on a show.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all the Mexican fighters, that's our style.
Yeah.
That's style, and I mean, that's the title that we get, I guess now.
Very nice. So how much would you like to fight on the card down in Mexico?
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I'm totally excited, and I'm not looking past Nico, but I can't help but be excited for that fight card because it's gonna be pretty big, and I'm really excited. But I'm not looking past Nico. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but the timing of that would work out, right? Because when is that? That would be in the fall, right?
November, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you'd even have a
November,
little rest time.
Right, I'd have a little break in between now and November.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying you're not looking past Nico, but certainly your division is a very competitive one. Who do you think you would like to face next if you are victorious? Because right now you're undefeated, and you'd be putting together, if you beat him, you'd be 9-0. So that'd be pretty solid. Is there a name in your radar that you're looking at?
Not a name, but I don't like to say if I beat him. I like to say when I beat him. That's just my mentality.
Quando?
Right. So when I beat Nico, somebody in the top 10, absolutely. Somebody
Nice.
that'll keep me going up those ranks.
What'd you think of the fight between Rory and Tyron the other day?
Oh, it was awesome. Rory looked incredible. He looked very impressive. I was very, very impressed. I just think Woodley didn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
He was throwing, he was, kind of just picking them apart, up and down. Very impressive.
Yeah, it was interesting. I've brought this up now a lot because it was such a interesting thing that I heard when you've trained with Mark Munoz. I don't know if back when you were at Reign a few times, he ever mentioned this phrase paralysis by analysis. But to me, it makes such sense when you hear, I felt like that's what I was watching Tyron do, like sit there going, I know all this stuff is coming. What should I do? Oh, no, it just came again. Now what? And I felt like it kind of just dominoed the further along the fight went, the more paralyzed he became.
Yeah, exactly. He just, like I said, he just didn't know what was coming. I think Rory was too technical and it really mixes up his striking well, his everything well.
Well, I'd like to know your opinion on the title picture then, because certainly we have Robbie Lawler is going to be facing Matt Brown. Now we know Rory just took out Tyron Woodley and shifted Tyron's position down in the rankings. Who, you personally in that division, who would you like to see fight for the title next? The winner of Lawler Brown or Rory McDonald?
I believe I heard Dana say the winner of Matt Brown, Robbie Lawler is getting the fight. But I personally think Rory deserves the title shot for sure.
Yeah?
I do.
Even though Robbie beat Rory?
Even though, he just
Yeah.
came off a fight. I think he maybe needs one or two more fights. But Rory, I would think, would be the one next in line. He just beat the number 3 guy,
Yeah.
and he is the number 2 guy. So why not go up against the number 1 guy?
Yeah, I guess it's just we knew how good that first Robbie Johnny fight was. You know what I mean? I think there's some people just kind of looking to see if lightning can strike twice.
Maybe,
You know?
I mean, Robbie's looked great too. He looked great against who did he fight last?
Well, he just
Ellenberg.
yes,
Ellenberg.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
He looked great.
And
He
not
looked
to
great.
discount Matt Brown, because Matt Brown, I feel like, is the dark horse in this whole thing that, people didn't really notice him, and all of a sudden they're like, who's this guy? And we're like, yeah, he's been great for a while, so
Right.
you never know what's going to happen with that.
Right. I mean, he's on a 7-5 win streak.
Yeah, he's
coming off the Ultimate Fighter. He's looked great since.
Yeah. So where, I mentioned that you had trained sometimes out at Rain, but you're full-time down in Arizona these days?
Right. I moved back with my original team, and we've been doing a lot of work, a lot of studying, and trying to grow into a world-class team.
Yeah. Is there other names we'd recognize that you've been training with?
No, not really,
Yeah.
because we're just a small bunch of tough SOBs. It's just a bunch of tough guys that just really push the pace on me and really beat me up every week.
Nice. Well, I would say too, there's something to be said for being the big fish in a little pond, because everybody's going to work their hardest against you.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
I am the big fish in here, but these guys bring it to me and they kick my butt.
Yeah. So what do you do for fun, though? I mean, obviously you can't be training full time all the time. It is summer. I know it's pretty hot down there. Are you? What else do you do?
Right. Well, shoot. Last weekend I was just at a golf tournament.
Nice. With Cub.
Yeah,
Did you golf with Cub?
No, not with Cub. But he invited me. He's like, hey,
nice.
we're going out after the fight in San Antonio. You're more than welcome to come.
Very nice.
And I'm
very
like,
nice.
I'm down.
I golf. I can golf. I'm not bad. I'm not great. But
hey,
I'm not bad.
let's go. Let's do it.
But so you've been golfing, and you've just been, trying, because I know obviously after next week you'll have some summer to relax. But I just always wonder what people do, in their downtime give the brain a rest, because you've been so focused now for X amount of months, just solidly in a row.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I plan on going back to California, visit Rain again, go out to Eddie Bravo's and tap out, and just hang out there for the summer. It's pretty hot out here in the Southwest. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't want to. Yeah.
For sure. And, obviously people want to know what your relationship is with Uriah after the show, and you defeated him in there. Are you guys still friends?
Oh, absolutely. I keep in touch with him all the time. Out of everybody, I keep in touch with him the most. I actually told him, hey, let's hang out this summer in LA and kind of just hang out and train.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's almost like a brother. I love that guy to death.
That's very cool. Very cool. Well, hopefully if you get out here in LA afterwards, you should swing by the UFC Tonight set and stuff like that too. We need to have you on. You haven't been on there, have you?
No, never have. I'd love to go on there. Absolutely.
It's fun. Well, you know Chael, obviously.
Yeah. Chael, I'll hit up Chael as well, and we'll hang out and hopefully, get together, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, it would be great. Now, why were you so fired up about fighting in San Antonio? There's a San Jose card coming up, and you're originally kind of from there more so. So why were you so fired up about Texas?
There's a big Hispanic community over there, so I would love to fight in front of all those fans that are really rooting for me and have been supporting me. And I love fighting in Dallas, and Dallas was awesome, and now San Antonio is going to be even better, I think.
Very nice. Well, yeah, I covered, speaking of before, of the Marquez brothers, one of the Vasquez-Marquez fights, and it was down in Texas, and it's ridiculous. Like the place goes crazy for you guys.
Yeah, and I'm expecting it to be pretty crazy this next coming weekend as well. So.
Awesome, very nice. So you mentioned Cub. You think he's going to beat Jeremy?
Man, Jeremy's game. Yeah. Jeremy's game. He's got a lot of knockout. He's got a lot of experience. But so is Cub. I can't decide. They kind of.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, but I couldn't pick one either. I'm like, I don't know.
I couldn't pick one either.
They're both so good. They really are.
Yeah, they are.
So,
They
you know
really
what,
are.
lastly, you know, I mentioned that you are undefeated. How important is that, protecting that, or you know, how do you process a loss? You haven't had to deal with one yet, you know, fighting MMA, but certainly I'm sure way back when you've lost some things. So how do you process that, and how sacred to you is an undefeated record?
Um, you know, it keeps my stock high, I think,
Yeah,
being
true.
undefeated. But you know, I don't want to lose. I don't
Yeah,
like losing. I hate losing, but you know, that's not even something that even wants to cross my mind.
right.
I don't want to even cross my mind. But you know, if it does come to, that I lose, you know, obviously, then you know whoever that man is, then kudos to him, I guess.
Yeah, nice.
Uh,
Nice. And
yeah.
lastly, Brazil and Mexico played to a draw the other day. I don't know if you're watching any World Cup. I was surprised.
Yes, Mexico played real well.
Yeah.
Mexico played real well. I was kind of expecting Brazil to kind of just run through them, to be
Yeah.
honest. But Mexico played real well. The goalie Ochoa,
Yeah.
uh, played real well as well.
It was solid. That was good. I just kept expecting. I
That
was
was a
like, I
great game.
cannot believe this is a draw. This is crazy.
Yeah, that was a great game. That
It
was a very
was.
exciting game.
It was awesome. Well, Kelvin, thank you. I know you probably got to eat, right? A little bit. You can eat a little, or not.
Yeah. I'm still eating. I'm
Yeah.
still eating. My weight's pretty good right now, so I'm still eating, and I feel good.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for taking the time today. I'm excited to see you go to work against Nico Musoke at Fight Night down in San Antonio. Best of luck to you. Thanks for taking the time. Always good to see you, Kelvin.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks.
I'll see you.
Adios.
Adios. Cuídate. Bye.
Bye.